Hey, Thomas here, and today we're going to be setting up this clear drop-in filter roller from unboxing to piecing things together, getting it all assembled, and then dropping it in your sump. So let's get cracking. In the box, you'll find the clear fleece roller main housing, the controller, the motor, the optical sensor, the power supply, 25 yards of 50 micron filter fleece, the large gray fresh fleece spindle, the small white waste spindle, 2 vent tubes, and 2 optional adapter plates. You'll also want to have some tape and or super glue handy. I'll personally be using some super glue to make sure my fleece stays stuck to the spindle. And if your sump has multiple filter sock holders, you can also pick up one or more of the clear flow diverting caps to close them off fully or even partially to direct the majority of the water to the clear filter roller. Once you've got all the parts laid out in front of you, start by opening the body of the clear and installing the 2 rubber vent pipes with the longer ends facing downwards. Next, install the optical sensor into the slot in the body of the clear by looping the wire around and under the sensor itself so it sits inside of that little groove just above the sensor. Then, slide the sensor into the slot and tighten the nut on the back of the sensor until it's snug. With that out of the way, now we can install the fleece roll, the spindles, and the motor. Start by removing the top cover of the clear by sliding it away from the body, along with the sidewall of the bottom chamber by undoing the thumb screw at the top of the sidewall on the underside of the clear, and then sliding it off. Next, grab the supply spindle, which is the thicker gray tube, and slip it inside of the fleece roll. Then, making sure the fleece sheet is sitting on the top of the roll, slide it into the slots inside the body of the clear. After that, take the fleece sheet and pull it down over the outside of the first guide roller, then around and under the second guide roller, all the way down the inside wall, around and under both of the bottom guide rollers, then all the way back up and around the outside of the last 2 guide rollers. This part is where your tape or glue is going to come in handy, so have it ready. Now grab the white collection spindle and making sure that the D-shaped slot on the side of that spindle faces the motor slot on the body of the clear, tape the edge of the fleece to the spindle, or draw a thin line of super glue along the length of the spindle and then place the fleece over it and lightly press it down. Don't worry, you get a new spindle every time you buy a new roll of fleece, so super gluing the fleece to the spindle isn't going to render it inoperable, because there's another one coming. Next, manually turn the spindle with your hands until you have 3 to 5 full turns of fleece on the spindle. Next, slide the motor's shaft into the end of the spindle and turn the motor if necessary so that the rounded end of the motor housing matches the rounded slot on the side of the clear, and then slide it into place. If you do end up having extra slack in the fleece sheet, you can remove it by turning the fresh roll of fleece in the opposite direction until you've removed that slack. After that, you can slide the top cover back into place and then reinstall the sidewall and the thumb screw. A quick note, if you do need to use one of the other filter sock templates to better fit your particular sump, now's the perfect time to install it. You can slide the pre-installed one off, slide the new one on, and then thread that thumb screw back into place. Now we can get it into the sump. First, remove your old filter sock if it's still there for some reason, then slide the clear down into the filter sock holder with the sensor facing away from the flow of the water as shown in the diagram. The reason that you want that sensor facing away from where the water is actually entering is so that that water entering doesn't crash against the side of the clear and accidentally trip the sensor with splashes, making it turn on and off over and over again for no reason. If you do have more than one sock holder on your particular setup, now's the time to install one of those diverter caps on that extra sock holder. When installing the diverter cap, you typically want it to be the first sock holder that the water is going to hit, and then the clear will sit in the second sock holder. Last but not least, plug the sensor into the controller port marked TS, then the motor into the port labeled motor, and then the power supply into the power port, and finally, plug the power supply into your power bar or GFCI outlet. Keep in mind though, the controller itself here isn't waterproof, so you don't want this to be anywhere near your sump where it could get damaged by humidity or splashing, so just mount it somewhere that it's going to stay dry. And that's it! No more filter socks to worry about. When the fleece is completely used up, swap it out for a new roll, give the clear a quick rinse and a wipe down, and keep on enjoying that low maintenance mechanical filtration. A quick tip though, save yourself some potential headaches by watching our top 10 filter roller mistakes video where Ryan and Randy break down all the most common mistakes people make with not only the feeling that they're showing, but all fleece rollers. Number 3 is one of the ones that you just don't think about, but once you hear it, you're like, yep, I coulda, I shoulda, that's probably, so save yourself from that situation and just go watch it.